in the pre-show, properties that Marvel does not have the rights to in movie form. If Marvel got the rights to those movies, what would a teaser trailer for their appearances be?
Yeah.
Word.
Yes. So,
I was just making sure we're live. I was like, I couldn't see if we're live. I was like, let me let Rob do the opening, but then I'm going to be like, hey man, you're going to have to do that opening all over again because we are not live.
Oh, I think we're live.
No, we're good. We're good. It's just my video preview window is garbage.
Okay.
I know we've been down this road before, and I continue to stick to my guns for my perfect scenario for the first family, and that is you totally Planet of the Apes it, is what you do and say, yeah, man, in the 60s, we totally sent a rocket up with, Reed Richards and the family. They just got stuck in a cosmic cloud, and they've been up there all along. So you show, like, that old derelict 60s ship and be like, yeah, they've just been perfectly preserved there, and whenever we work the rights out, they're going to come back down to Earth, and it's going to be great.
But that means...
Oh, my God.
That means they'll be old.
That means... No, that means that not only would they possibly be old, but they'll have 60s mentalities.
Yeah, so Reed Richards will be a jackass with a pipe. He'll be like, quiet, woman. Anyway,
exactly.
Ben, what were you saying about women and how they don't understand things quite as well as us?
You could totally build a franchise around that. Like, actually have, like, an in-story reason for why they're frozen in time as the version most
That'd be kind of fun. I'd be all right with that. Not the misogyny of Reed Richards, but rather the fun of you get to have more fun with the man at a time angle that, like, they kind of threw away with Captain America. Because the Cap, the idea was like, holy crap, we can actually play with the idea. Because when Cap was unfrozen, he was only 20 years in the past.
Right.
Now you were frozen for 70 years. We could really play with that. We got a list. That's the whole joke. All the jokes about Steve Rogers not being in the same time frame as everybody else is, I didn't see Star Wars when it came out. Like,
or listen to Trouble Man.
Yeah, like that's literally all of the references we got. And but with
he modernized quickly.
With the Fantastic Four, be like, let's be superhero. Like it's the people. Those would be the characters that would be like, let's actually be superheroes, as opposed to everyone else is like, I don't want to be a superhero. It's just
no, that's not what happened. Because Reed would be like, what's going on in science?
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? So he would just be thrown into that.
That'd be great because he'd be so distracted.
Yeah, and then Ben Grimm would be like, I don't even know what to do.
Oh, I'm a monster. That you get to play with that whole thing.
And Johnny Storm would be like,
what's
this internet? And then please show me how it works immediately.
Yeah, he'd have a gigantic arm.
Yeah.
He'd be swiping left and right.
Yeah.
Too much internet.
Yeah.
Okay. So all right, I'm going to go with the X-Men here. And then I'm going to go for Galactus too, because I like Galactus.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to go with the X-Men.
No, really?
So Marvel, be quiet, Joel. So Marvel
had to get it in.
Yeah.
Had to get it in. Marvel does not have the rights to the X-Men in movie form. So if they got those, all right, for whatever reason, like in 2016, the internet failed in its entirety, and no one knew that it happened. Mm-hmm. Okay, here's what I would do: a post-credit scene. All right, and it's a post-credit scene, but chronologically, it's right after the reveal of the of S.H.I.E.L.D., the Superhuman Registration Act.
Okay.
All right, so like it jumps back a bit, but it's a post-credit scene, and it is like just a guy sitting in a wheelchair, and a dude sitting beside him, and you don't know that. Like all you know is like you see the TV, but it starts panning out from the TV, and as it's panning out from the TV, like the two people are talking, and by the time the thing starts to come to an end, the guy's like, well, it's only a matter of time before they come for us. And the guy's like, yes, I know. Like we have to be prepared, Scott. And like you just like it's, and then it just cuts to black. But it's like Charles Xavier and Scott Summers talking about the Registration Act. Like that would be that's what I would do. I mean, I have to flesh that out a little more.
Right.
But
when Feige comes calling, you're going to want to have a good pitch.
You got a workshop, got to get your elevator pitch.
That's right.
For when you're in the elevator with Feige.
The reason,
Galactus.
Go ahead, I'm sorry. No, I was going to say the reason why we're having this discussion, by the way, is because we were speculating on whether there might be some behind-the-scenes mojo happening right now because of all the amazing Resurrection announcements that we've just gotten. We got like books that are coming out that are all X-related after 3 years of either marginalizing, neutering, or otherwise otherworldizing the X-Men, just getting rid of them entirely. We got this huge bombshell Resurrection line, which had a terrible logo, and that's kind of it. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, we got like Generation X getting a book, Cable's getting a book, Jean Grey's getting a book, Weapon X getting a book. Like, and everybody's getting a book.
Damn it, that's in the list.
Oprah's just like, it's all happening. And And I think that it's my theory is Fox and Marvel made a deal, and the plan was Death of X was the by the numbers line item. We don't have the X-Men franchise, but we still have to sell X-Men books event. Then they were going to do IVX in Humans vs. X-Men, but then all of a sudden they made the deal happen, and they were like, oh, well, let's do a big thing that celebrates that the X-Men are coming back and that we can actually openly care about them again. And that's why you're getting Inhumans vs. X-Men and Resurrection like right after the other, as opposed to the way normal events work, which is not doing that. Anyway, we were like, oh, well, if Marvel and Fox are playing together in the sandbox, that means that we could get Fantastic Four back. It means we can get X-Men back. So that's why we were like, oh, what could happen? Where could we go with this? So these are why we're doing all these pitches. It's not just like, oh, it'd be fun to just spitball about, things that we have no control over. It's just there is a correlation. It's all connected. If you watch Der Zhangli, that is the mantra. So, anyway, Rob, how could they do the announcement that they got the Fantastic Four rights back using Galactus?
Okay.
What a lead in.
Yeah. I was a little curious if Rob was actually listening.
Everybody join me on this journey. Imagine for a moment that you have the Nova Corps, right? You got John C. Reilly, you got the Nova Corps, and they're just doing their Nova Corps thing, whatever, an alarm goes off. Yeah. And they're like, what the heck? Like some dude panics, runs off to tell somebody else, so on and so forth. Like 3 or 4 guys come running into the office of Nova Prime. All right. And they're like, we have a problem. And she's like, what? And they were like, Galactus is approaching our system. And then it just cuts to black. That's what I would do. Literally, that's all you need. Like, it's just like the devout, like Galactus is coming, or something along those lines. Or like they were monitoring. It's like he's consumed another planet.
Yeah.
Like just something, because it's a package deal. Like you can't parse them out. As far as I know, the way the movie rights worked out, they can't parse out the individual characters. So it's not like Marvel gets the rights back to Galactus and Silver Surfer, but Fox keeps the Fantastic Four.
I think they could do that.
They probably could.
Oh, I'm sure they could.
But I hope they don't. I hope it's a lot.
What if it, instead of being an alarm, what if they bring in a prisoner and it's the Silver Surfer? Like they finally arrested.
Yeah, they caught him.
They arrested the Herald of Galactus. They're like, okay, now what?
No. Like, he's not going to eat a planet that his herald's on.
Yeah. Or maybe he will.
Or maybe he'll come even faster.
Yeah.
You don't even have to have him be Silver Surfer. Be like, state your name for the record. I am Norrin Rad.
Yeah, exactly.
The pitch
and every comic
Foundation.
geek knows what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The pitch for the Future Foundation.
Yeah,
like Peter Parker receives an invitation to join the Future Foundation. Yeah, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
I would freak.
I'm telling you, that's
accurate.
Yeah. My alternate, my pitch was that Stark just lets himself into the Parker apartment as he is wont to do now. Now he's like friends with them, and he comes and goes as he please. He goes through Peter's mail, starts looking through it. He sees a letter like "Congratulations on Future Foundation," just tosses it in the garbage. He's like, "Oh no, you don't! Nice try, Richards." And then just moves on. It's literally just a shot.
Yeah,
dude, that would be perfect. Like he looks at the thing, and it's just like. He's like he looks at it and like he would just mumble it to himself under his breath. He's like, "Nice try, Richards."
He would just go. You could even do a Doctor Doom joke where he goes, "Richards," like almost like he's gonna Richards, but he's just.
Then like the camera would like pan down like to the trash and it would be like, "You've been cordially invited to join Reed Richards as part of the Future Foundation," or something like that.
Speaking of Doom, my pitch was always, if you want to bring Dr. Doom into this new MCU, make it like a North Korea, make it like a rogue nation that's very secretive, and be like, hey, Richard, since you're back from space and everything, remember your old roommate Victor Von Doom? Well, it turns out he took over his country and like he's gone all Kim Jong-il. Like, they're calling him God King Doom. We don't really understand. You want to work on this for S.H.I.E.L.D. maybe now that you're back? That'd be cool.
I love the idea that that Latveria is a country that no one really regards, because it allows you to establish that Latveria exists in the MCU, where someone just says like, well, what about Latveria? And someone just makes a joke, like you said, North Korea. Like, well, yeah, why doesn't North Korea just weigh in on our international affairs? Like, because they're a nation that doesn't actually make anything. All the import is, giant rabbits that the one leader eats. It's a very, very subtle North Korea joke.
Yeah, wow.
Dude, you know how you do that?
Yeah. What?
You do that the exact same way they drop Doctor Strange in Winter Soldier. Like somebody just runs off the name and you don't even think about it. Like they talk about like the fallout from Captain America, like the Avengers going away, Captain America starting the Secret Avengers, and it's just like it's like a news thing. It's like, well, everybody it's obvious now that the world's gone to pieces with the Avengers gone. Like you've got some petty warlord in Latveria.
Yep.
Like you have this going, and it's just
all you get.
Like one line.
Yep. Boom, and you're like, whoa, did you just say Latveria?
He said Latveria, Dr. Doom, bitches.
Yeah, it's happening.
Let us not forget Sokovia, too, an Eastern European nation. Wouldn't it be something if they're like, ever since that stuff went down in Sokovia, Latveria now is trying to stabilize the region.
Oh, my God.
We're thinking they're invading places. Kind of do like a drawn from the headline things, like a Russian aggression thing, but
you
it's
can do a Ukraine
Latvian
thing.
aggression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could treat Doom like Putin. Where it's like, there was this. He was trained. You could get the same kind of reaction that you got to Ben Kingsley's Mandarin pre-movie release. When it was like, he was educated in the States, but he came from this other country, and he has this real problem with the West, and he like rules his own group. Like that's basically Doom. It would be really cool to do something where you kind of ground Dr. Doom, but still make it a dude in a really awesome looking armor outfit in a cape.
Victor Von Putin.
They could just have a guy who's just Victor Von Doom, but it's not actually him. It's a Doom bot, but like that's how it looks like Doom. Like it looks like a dude. Like they're like, hey Stark, have you met? And he's like, yeah, I know Victor Von Doom. Thank you, right? But like later on, you can reveal that he's like not in that movie, but like in like an actual movie with him. You're like, didn't I just see you? Like no, that was that was one of my many Doom bots.
Oh my God, you could put Doom in every movie.
Yeah.
And just blame it on Doombots.
It's Doombot.
And just John burn it up. That was Doombot.
So how much do you think wait, hang on, before you go. How much do you think that they will possibly rely on the Infinity Gems to alter
the continuity?
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to rely on it nearly as much as we want them to. Like
for me, like the biggest one is the X-Men. Like getting mutants into the world.
Yes.
Like either you have to admit that all of your science, all of your government agencies have been entirely wrong this entire time, or you have to alter reality.
Yes, it either has to be like the best kept secret that no one would ever keep,
yeah,
or reality changes. I think you could do it the way they ended House of M, but in a kind of inverted way, where they destroy the Infinity Gems at the end.
Yeah.
And Stark is doing an interview, or at that point you could have Hank Pym do it, or any other big brain character from the MCU that is trusted and established and would be fun to see in an interview. And he's talking he's talking about where the energy went from that much release of power. And he's like, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an irrevocable change in our fundamental way of life. And then you just see like a new dawn rise, and it's like outside the planet, and you're like, oh, like just a shot of the world and how it's like, there's nothing seemingly different about it from the outside, but like the sun rises and you're like, there's mutants now.
Oh, you're not going to take the next step that they don't really need to, and like they zoom in
it goes
to North America, and then they zoom into Canada, and then they zoom into like a snowy forest.
Yes, and there's Wolverine just tearing through.
Weapon X running through the forest.
Yeah, and you don't even have to cast Wolverine. You just have a dude that's a little hairy and a little shorter who's just got the helmet on. He's just tearing through the woods.
Yeah.
That's your movie.
Yeah.
That's your ending to get the X-Men in.
God, I don't know. Either that, or you could just have them. You could use a Mind Stone. You could literally just be like have them, because with the Mind Stone, assuming it's similar to the comics, it could literally just be like, with the power of the Mind Stone, we know everything. It's like, who the fuck is this guy named Charles Xavier that's been like hiding mutants from the world?
Yeah.
Like, who the hell is this guy? Like
yeah, you could say that like Xavier has been using Cerebro to block mutants from humanity.
Right, except for Magneto, who wears a helmet.
Fuck Magneto.
I'm just saying, like, that doesn't work for all mutants.
But it's not. It doesn't matter about the mutants. It's just blocking it from humanity.
There are a lot of human beings. That's a lot of brain power.
Professor X, in the plot of X-Men 2 is that he almost killed every human being using Cerebro.
I know that.
And they recycled it for Apocalypse.
Does that mean that he's not running his school?
No, it's just that he only has to do it when there is a problem. It's like Men in Black. Like, they don't always have to mind flash people. It's just when they encounter, like, aliens.
Okay, well then, so the Guardians of the Galaxy show up, right? In whatever.
In Infinity War, which they will.
Infinity War, right?
Yeah.
So, wouldn't they know, like...
No, they don't give a shit. They don't pay attention to human. Or to Terra. as they refer to it.
I'm just saying that, galactic characters.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we could talk about this forever. So, and we will. But we do have topics to run over.
That's true.
Guys.
All right.
We do have topics for the podcast. Before I do that, though, let me turn on the light because I feel like I'm living in a fucking cave right now.
Yeah.
Well, you are.
With a box of scraps.
And off he goes.
And there he goes.
For those out there wondering, I am drinking some Mountain Dew Pitch Black that the ComicPOP team was nice enough to pick up for me in New York. I finally got around to drinking it. It is a strong, kick-you-in-the-face kind of soda is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so topic number one, as most everybody has heard, AT&T bought Warner Bros, HBO, and other stuff, which normally would not matter to us, except Warner Bros owns DC.
Right.
Yeah.
So, here's I don't think that's really going to change anything.
No, I don't think so either.
Either nothing will change or everything will change
or all
when these deals
AT&T
go down.
phones will come loaded with a DC Comics app. You can purchase all your DC titles.
It would be amazing if like whoever's in charge of AT&T just had a real problem with DC Comics. He was I don't like this.
That would be horrible.
And just sold it. Just like, who wants this depreciating asset that I don't like so much? And everyone's like, you don't know anything.
Disney, do you want to own DC?
Yeah. Oh my God!
They asked us that once before, and we said no.
Only 30 years ago they asked that question. Would you like to own DC Comics? It's never going to happen.
It would be better if that guy had a fundamental problem with Zack Snyder.
Yeah, well, they already do.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm
Here's
saying,
the thing,
like,
they've
the
already
guy
dealt
from
with him.
AT&T is like, we're going to buy you.
Yeah.
But part of our provisions are...
Yeah, it's like when Disney bought Star Wars. They were like, Rick McCullum has to go.
You got to go.
The Lucas yes man who makes prequels and special editions terrible needs to leave.
It'd be really funny.
Oh God, dude! I remember like when they bought Disney when they bought Star Wars, and George Lucas was like, "Hey guys, I have some really cool ideas." And Disney was like, "Yeah, man,
that's real interesting, and I'm gonna put it right here, right on the refrigerator. That way we can see it every day."
I'd love it even more if the AT&T guys like, hey, CW, I love that Grant Gustin kid. Guess what? You're the new Flash now.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I don't think
Ezra
that's
Miller,
how
better
it
luck
works.
next time. No, I don't think so either.
I mean, like, that's the thing, is that it's fun to speculate, but the fact is, it's just one mega conglomerate buying another mega conglomerate.
Yeah.
The fact is, it has to go through so many federal regulations anyway. It may be purchased, but, like, the deal won't go through until the feds approve it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It would be really cool if someone high-ranking, though, was a huge fan of DC Comics.
Yeah, and was like, we're gonna profile this shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put Superman symbols on all of our phones.
Right?
When your phone starts up, it's just like the Superman logo flashes
Yeah.
across, and then it.
This story's also kind of weird to me because, like, we don't have AT&T in my country. What's their service like? What's their rep? Are they good? Are they
I
bad?
have AT&T.
Well,
I've never complained. Like, I have it and it's fine.
How about this? I have never had a cell phone provider that I was like,
This
guys
is
are
great!
Like,
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
So, like, what's the bar for that? There is no bar. The bar is, like, non-existent. So, they're fine.
Yeah, they're as good as anything else.
How about this? I can't say for where Rob lives, but on the East Coast,
Yeah.
we're in a... Okay, Rob is muted and he's calling his dog.
Yep. Well,
Yep,
we're in the tri-state area, and
Yeah.
so as such, it's like, it's fine.
There's a cat, and I'm totally distracted by said cat.
Yep.
Just like
Does
Rob's
it-
totally
Distracted by his
said
dog.
He's so happy right now.
He is, look at him.
Does this deal also mean that AT&T gets Time Warner Cable, of which I have heard
Yes.
nothing but horrible things about?
I think it
They
does.
are bad.
And that
But-
is bad.
Yeah.
But we are not here to talk about Time Warner Cable.
No.
Oh, come on, let's talk about it. We'll never
We're
get
not
this
here to
chance
talk
again.
about Time Warner Cable.
No.
Like, okay, no, I, honestly, man, I don't think anything. I think it'll be the Disney approach. Disney bought Marvel, but for the most part, Disney's hands off. I'm sure there's been a couple editorial decisions they've made.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you got to keep it relatively safe. But seeing like Agents of Shield move to 10 o'clock, seeing a much darker tone.
Yep.
The idea of them including Hellfire with Ghost Rider, which, by the way, oh my God. Okay, so did you guys
Great
watch the most
season.
recent episode of Ghost Rider?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
When he had the now
You
I
mean
can't
Agents
remember.
of S.H.I.E.L.D., not of Ghost Rider. But
No, it's Ghost Rider.
Yeah, we saw
It's-
Ghost Rider
it's-
yesterday. It was great. Or last week.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
the Ghost Rider show featuring the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Now, I was sitting here watching this and I couldn't remember because I know that Robbie Reyes, I don't think he has it, but
No.
who was it that had the flaming chain? Was that Danny Ketch?
That was
or
Danny Ketch.
Okay, I thought it was Danny Ketch. I'm so glad they're taking like all the aspects of the Ghost
Just
Rider.
put it
mythos,
all into one guy.
throwing it into one guy.
Well,
He
we're only
almost
doing it
did
once,
the pennant
so-
stare, which blew me away. He was like this close to giving that guy the pennant stare.
Not only that,
Yeah.
I loved when he takes the chain. He's like, "It's a good idea. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this flaming chain thing." Because last season when he was doing the flaming chain, I'm like, second-rate Inhuman bullshit Ghost Rider. Get the crap out of here.
Well, it's funny because James What's-His-Face is like the great-great-grandson of the original Wild West Ghost Rider that predates the Hell one. So it's kind of funny to have these two together. And hey, spoilers, James is a big trader. He was a big trader in the Secret Defenders comic of which he's from. So I think it's funny that they did that.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. The Secret Defenders, by the way, was a pretty cool line. Like I thought Secret Defenders was kind of cool.
Yeah,
it's like
cool.
that was part of Dark Reign, right?
Yeah. No, wait.
Secret Defenders?
Which
no, it was Invasion, wasn't it? Because Fury puts the team
Secret
together.
Invasion. That's right.
It was during Secret Invasion.
Yeah. Somebody asked me to do Dark Reign, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't think I ever read Dark Reign, but I'll check it out. It's like a 200-issue long
Yeah!
And
it was like a couple years worth of stories.
Yeah, it's pretty good, though.
I'm not gonna do that.
I enjoyed it.
Hold on, they're individual story arcs, right?
Yeah. It's not just like... Dark Reign was just like... It would be like saying the era in which the Avengers were crappy. You know, like... You know, when friggin' Black Knight and...
I'm not
Thunderstrike
with that. I might try Dark Reign and see how that goes, because that was during Norman Osborn's tenure, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
You get Dark Reign, then you get like Siege on Asgard, because that was like the thing that happened afterwards, where they're like, hey, let's do a thing for like the Iraq War. Let's invade Asgard and have no exit strategy.
Yeah. You
were petting the cat. Okay, I saw you reach over, and I thought you were like rubbing Tiffany's chin, and I was like, Sal, that's kind of weird, man. Like,
yeah.
No, there's a little like dark spot of a cat here.
But yeah, so the brand new X-Men books. Now, I imagine this probably does have something to do with the deal that was struck out, but in truth, I think this is really just based on the individual characters. I think it's based on the success of Magneto, to be honest with you guys, because Magneto was such a well-written. It was probably one of the best comics to come out of Marvel now.
It's been a couple of years now, Rob, since Magneto.
It has, but at the same time, we also got to keep in mind during this couple-year period, they were doing everything leading up to Secret Wars.
Yeah.
So I mean, like Original Sin, Age of Ultron, Avengers versus X-Men, all that stuff. You know, Hickman's whole run on Avengers, the New Avengers, Time Runs Out. That was all leading up. So in truth, they were literally winding things down. So I imagine Magneto was probably a test. You know, and in truth, I wouldn't see it as a bad thing. Like, Magneto was written a couple years ago. Does it still stand? Does it still sell? Do people still like it? And if they do, then let's try some more. Let's just throw out, you know, a multitude of X-Men books. And at the very least, I mean, with this, it's cool to see. This is one of the things that I like about All New, All Different Marvel. Like, it's not everything is all new and all different, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. For example, we get X-Men Blue and X-Men Gold.
I know, that's so great!
For those of you guys back in the day who do not know about X-Men in the 1990s. So, Sal, you know what, Sal? I will let you take this, man.
Yeah, all right. They were like, they were tripping over all these popular X-Men, and they were like, we can't put all, we gotta divide and conquer. We gotta make double our money. We can't just put all of our most popular X-Men on one team and sell one book. So they made two teams, X-Men Gold and X-Men Blue, which is hilarious because it's like, yes, we'll go Gold and then Blue.
Like their costumes.
Yeah, but like not red and blue, not gold and silver.
No,
like
that's two Pokemon.
Yeah, it was pre-Pokemon.
Predates it.
It was pre-Pokemon by like 10 years. But
it's all Pokemon to me.
Well, anyway, just there were these two teams, and I think Cyclops ran one and Storm ran the other, and it was just two very, very different teams, but from like all from the same like X-Men umbrella. And it was really cool. And of course, Jim Lee art, Andy Kubert art, like just amazing looking stuff. And it all basically became homogenized again anyway. But like the conceit of having two primary X teams that just had a cool color designation were fun and cool. And it was a great way to be like, oh, we're not going to put like a lower tier X, like Skin won't be on this team. We're going to have a real X-Men on this team.
What about Husk?
Husk is probably going to be on that Generation X team.
Yeah. But if you looked at the art for these books that accompanied these announcements, X-Men Gold had a bunch of classic artwork of the older X-Men, where X-Men Blue had all the younger X-Men. So is this how they're going to square that circle now? Older X-Men over here, time-traveling doubles over here.
Maybe. Well, because they're also going to have they're going to have Generation X, and they also have, I think they have X-Force now?
Cable,
just Cable.
X-Cable.
Okay, just Cable.
Well, but see, here was the thing. Like, when they did X-Men Gold and X-Men Blue, like, you had one title running an Uncanny X-Men, you had the other running X-Men Volume 2. But the problem with this was that, like, the teams were stupidly lopsided. Like, I think you had, like, Colossus and Wolverine and, like, Cyclops and like all the best people on one team, and then you had like a couple people that were
yeah,
good
exactly.
on the other. And it was stupidly lopsided. But see, this I think would be kind of a cool thing, because imagine you take the younger X-Men and you put them on X-Men Blue,
yeah,
and then you take then you take the older X-Men, you put them on X-Men Gold. All right, that gives you your generations or your age gap.
Yeah,
and then you turn around and you just take Generation X. Now the other thing they could do, though, I mean. Yeah, the other thing they could do is they could literally just introduce a new generation of mutants, assuming they bring them back.
Yeah.
There's a new generation of mutants. They go in Generation X. X-Men Blue is literally just like all new X-Men plus a couple popular characters to balance it out.
Yeah.
And then X-Men Gold is like the rest of it. So literally, you just take Extraordinary X-Men and you throw them on X-Men Gold. You take, half of Uncanny X-Men, you throw them on X-Men Blue, and then you take all new X-Men and you throw them on X-Men Blue.
Well, you know what's
so
cool?
Then you just balance it all out.
I was looking at the covers, and I'm gonna try and throw them up on the screen while Joel's gone. But like, one of the interesting things, if you look at the covers, is that X-Men Gold here is just the team is basically the new X-Men from like Giant Size X-Men #1. It's the like next generation of X-Men with like Nightcrawler, Colossus, Wolverine, everything like that. Then you had X-Men Blue, which is the original team with like Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast, Angel, that kind of thing. And so I'm wondering if it's going to be in spirit something like that, where it's like, let's take the original X-Men and put them on this team, and let's take like any new guys and put them on the other team, or like. I don't know. I honestly have no freaking idea what they're doing, and it comes so far out of left field that I'm like, what is even happening?
Yeah, I think Gold looks more interesting than Blue. Yeah, that's how it was, guys. Like back then, like that's what they did. Like people, like fans were literally split down the middle.
Yeah.
X-Men Gold's better. No, X-Men Blue's better. Like it was good because it drove sales for both titles.
Yeah.
But is it just me, or does that version of Colossus look like Astonishing X-Men: The Return of Colossus version of his character?
Well, you know what's interesting?
Like,
they are using just like random art that they just own. That's definitely the Astonishing. That is definitely John Cassidy's Colossus, but that's also what looks like Terry Dodson's Kitty Pryde. So like, my guess is they're just. True. I mean, I also noticed that Old Man Logan is on X-Men Gold, or at least they used that image for X-Men Gold. My guess is that the art is only mildly indicative at best about what the title's going to include.
It's to remind you of better times in X-Men, not the last 4 or 5 years that I've been reading, where I'm so goddamn soured on. I think I was the only one who was keeping up, wasn't like? I don't think anyone else
reading
read
Extraordinary X-Men. And everything. It was just yikes.
So it's okay. It's coming under what imprint?
Marvel Now.
Well,
no, it's not called Marvel. They're not calling it like Marvel Now's X-Men. It's just under Resurrection. These books will come out.
Okay, because all I said was Marvel. So they're still doing all new, all different Marvel.
Yep.
They're doing Marvel Now.
Well, Marvel Now will supersede all new, all different Marvel. Like all new, all different Marvel will end, and then Marvel Now will begin.
Mm.
Which is kind of weird because it's an unofficial continuation, because like Black Panther is continuing.
These are just books that came out under that label, but they're not.
Right. So then, wouldn't this technically be under the label of Marvel Now? But I noticed it just says Marvel.
What if we're all wrong, and Marvel Now is for like the Marvel Prime universe, and all these X titles are coming out under an X-Men universe label, where like Resurrection is literally just like an imprint, like Marvel Knights or Marvel Max or Ultimate Universe, and all these X books are all just going to take place in their own universe with nobody in them except for the X-Men.
We theorized. Okay, well, actually, no, that can't be true, because if you look at X-Humans, Kamala Khan is on it and Gwenpool is on it.
Gwenpool isn't a mutant and Kamala Khan's an Inhuman.
Well, okay, but
unless
X-Humans, though, leads me to believe that this is like after the war of Inhumans and X-Men, they're going to need to have like a Unity Squad thing, like Uncanny. So this is probably going to be Inhumans and X-Men and Gwenpool because she's popular.
Is there any indication that there will be a mutant on this team?
Oh yeah, they had some other mutants on the team too. But they were like lesser known. Ugh, God, let me get the art up,
because this is scary.
But
this went from really exciting to really scary in a second.
No, I don't think it's going to be like that.
Yeah, I was going to get the feeling, because there's other stuff we haven't touched on yet, like the Jean Grey one too. How like that's going to be the original Jean Grey they seek to be.
Do we know that?
They seek to be. They haven't come out and said it, but all the art on the Jean Grey book is the old Jean
Well, yeah,
Grey,
because that's
the new young one.
Yeah, because there's only one artist who's been drawing that Jean Grey for a while.
But also Resurrection, if they're gonna bring anybody back.
Yeah, it should be Jean Grey.
Well, I mean, Jean Grey's literally just been sitting in the white hot room, just doing whatever the hell it is she does while she's there. So.
What she does is be boring usually, but
then even if it is just they're just doing X-Men titles and they're just doing a pseudo event, it would still be Marvel Now.
Yes,
but they're not saying that.
No, they're not using the Marvel Now logo on any of the X books.
But they're saying it's going to come out in spring of 2017.
Which is technically Marvel. No, Marvel Now already started.
Yeah. So
Marvel Now started last week.
No, it's just Marvel Now. Like these things, like all new, all different Marvel Now are just they're just artificially naming the rollout for new books.
Right. I'm just trying to get you to the point where this is stupid.
It's stupid in as much as they're meaningless. Because all new, all different Marvel was also, it wasn't all new and all different, and it didn't matter, and it wasn't indicative of anything,
right?
And eventually it just petered out and stopped. Marvel Now is literally just they used that name already, and then they're going to do it again and pretend like you didn't remember that, even though it was only a couple years ago. And it will also peter out and be nothing.
Yeah, but apparently it's going to peter out in the next few months if they're not even putting this.
Yeah, they're not even putting the Marvel Now logo on it because it's not now.
It's spring 2017.
We're now.
What will then be now?
Never.
To answer your question, Sal, about who's on this X-Human team, they have a version of Wolverine who looks like the blue and red-clad one from a little bit. The Inhumans that we know, Kamala Khan, Gwenpool, also, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, and their Inhuman kid.
What?
Or Quicksilver's Inhuman kid, because he was with Crystal for a bit and they had a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this looks to be a Unity type book.
Yeah.
Here's a question: maybe will they make? It's not even a question. When do you think, if they made a deal, and this is all indicative of the deal, how soon do you think they'll make Wanda and Pietro into mutants again and Magneto?
Oh, as soon as possible.
Because no one liked that.
Well, to me, man, you got to take something, you got to stick with it. Scarlet Witch casts a spell that knocks out everybody who's her family, or whatever it is, and Magneto's still there, and she's like, "You're not my dad," and he's like, "Nope, you're an Inhuman." So it's like, okay, they're Inhumans.
Yeah, they were never.
No, they're not humans. They're high evolutionary.
They were never Inhumans, Rob. They were created by the higher evolutionary. They retconned the retcon. Never once did they use the word Inhumans.
Thank God. I was really worried they were going to make him Inhumans, but they didn't.
I thought they made him Inhumans.
No, they made him
once.
They made him nothing.
Said that before, and they've never once made them Inhumans.
No, they made them.
Joel's like, God damn it, Rob! I need you to know.
I read that terrible, short-lived, Uncanny Avengers run, which was the post of it. So damn it, I'm gonna be strong and firm with that information because I read that horrible story.
It was real bad.
Was not good.
Uncanny, yeah. Well, anyway.
Yep.
Let's move on.
Anyway, they're going to have the retconning machine, Cable. He's going to be his. He's going to get his own book. Which I'll be honest, man, I'm actually kind of excited to see a Cable book. And okay,
he's good in Uncanny Avengers, the Duggan run. I hope Duggan writes it.
He's a cool character.
He's not bad. I was a little weary when he first showed up. And okay, guys, for those of you guys who are not familiar with Marvel Comics, Cable exists to retcon stuff. All right, that's what he does.
He literally is a walking.
He does.
He's a walking contradiction.
He won't stop. He's a walking contradiction. All right, so here's how it works, guys. All right, so Cable first showed up in Marvel Comics, right? And he showed up in 1989, I think it was. Anyway, his origin story wasn't revealed until the 1990s, and they said he's the son of Madeline Pryor and Scott Summers, taken to the future, whatever. Apocalypse is going to take over the world one day. Cable's job is to keep that from happening, so he just keeps traveling in the past to keep that from happening. Now, originally, it was just in the 1990s, there were some things that went on, and he's like, okay, he's going to stop that from happening. And then it's like House of M, he's going to stop that from happening. And then, Civil War, well, he's got to stop that from happening. The more events that happened, the more things were in this future. Well, now, apparently, Secret Wars happened, on the line, to, somewhere during this timeline. No one knew about it.
I just forgot to mention it.
He just forgot. Yeah, he forgot to. By the way, guys, there are these dudes from beyond the multiverse, and they are going to wipe everything out, and you guys are going to successfully stop them. Reed Richards is going to fix everything, but I just thought you guys should know. I guess that never occurred to Cable. So that's the problem with Cable.
Way to drop the ball, bro.
Yeah.
Cable never makes any sense. They literally should have just come back and just been like, no, dude, your entire future with Age of Apocalypse, that's gone now. The only reason why you continue to exist is because your little robot thing allows you to be outside the effects.
That's all
they
need
also
to
took
do.
away his time traveling powers. In the newest Uncanny, they took those away and say he's stranded here now, essentially in present day.
Yeah. Okay, well they did that. They did the same thing with Bishop during Messiah.
They did the same thing with Bishop.
And it lasted just long enough for him to figure out a way to get to the future and then to continue the Messiah War storyline. So, you know,
yeah.
it was.
Going back to what we were talking about earlier about the reveal of the X-Men, that should be the stinger. It's just a harmonica sound.
And then Bishop's like, I'm from the future.
The future.
And everyone's like, I don't care, shut up. Nice mullet. If you're from the future, then why do you have that hair?
Look, all I'm saying is if I pick up a new issue of Cable #1, I want it to have a holographic cover, I want a trading card with it, and on Free Comic Book Day, I hope they give out little pouches with every issue 0 that you get.
You guys should type that in the chat. I just want to see people in the chat just type future.
Future.
I just want to see that pop up. Future. The future. But okay, so moving past the X books.
Yep.
We have the Logan trailer. Now, I am gonna throw this out there. That was one of the best X-Men related trailers that I've ever seen, and this movie looks like it's going to be solid.
Yeah, it looks like The Road with Wolverine in it.
I mean, not to love.
Well, see, because we talked about this on the poll, and here's what I think. Here's what I think it is. I think Fox realizes that Hugh Jackman's going away. You know, they really like he's not going to come back. They've obviously set the
stage. He's a liar, though. He said every time it's going to be his last time.
I bet this is the last time.
I think this is the last time, and they're setting the stage to continue the Wolverine franchise by having X-23 take over the role of Wolverine. Something will happen, things will get set to normal, whatever it is, reality will shift back, and X-23 will be Wolverine instead of Logan, you know, and it'll just continue along that path. But I think Fox also realizes that because Hugh Jackman's leaving, like, they got to go for broke.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, Hugh Jackman, do what you want to do. If they took, like, the Deadpool approach, just make the movie you want to make.
Yeah.
Like, you know, do whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. It looks like it's going to be solid. And that's what it needs. Like, that's what Logan needs a movie where it's him and just one other guy.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just emphasis on their characters.
Can I just say, I'm a little worried that the reason, like, it's the trailer, so we don't really know.
Yeah.
But, like, Patrick Stewart features heavily in that. And I think that's awesome because he's an amazing actor. And, like, when you just give him something to do, like, let him chew the scenery, let him do whatever, he just goes for it, right? Yep. But he's also much older.
Oh, he'll die in this movie.
That's what I think.
No question.
And I'm afraid that they're going to get rid of both of these actors here because they're afraid that he'll die.
Yeah. Even though Patrick Stewart's not that old anyway, but, like...
He's not.
No, there's no way. I guarantee you he dies halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
I mentioned this on the poll, and it bears repeating. I love that Professor Xavier is Logan's road buddy on this mission, because they've literally developed no one else in this franchise enough to come along with him. Yep. Like, wouldn't it have been nice if they had developed, like, I don't know, maybe Cyclops enough, and he could have been... Hell, I'd even settle for Gambit, because, you know, you could make Gambit blind, and he's like, hey, I'm the Hawkeye for this movie.
It would be kind of cool to make Cyclops blind.
Yeah.
Because the eye thing.
Right.
I mean, it's... Well,
like, Wolverine could be like, you are more than useless now.
You can't even shoot optic beams,
You can't even shoot the useless optic blasts.
Before you were blind, but only because you had to keep your eyes closed unless you were wearing sunglasses, but now you're just blind.
Now.
And you're still wearing the stupid visor.
Yeah, and you're still wearing that dumb visor. Yeah.
No, I think that like, I was going through and I was reading an article, because I think Joel and I ended up talking about this, like who's staying and who's going. I think you and I had that conversation.
Yeah, we did.
We were going through and we were reading articles, and I think that, like, everyone who's been part of the X-Men movies up to this point, with the exception of, like, Michael Fassbender,
right,
and I assume the characters, and I assume the characters that they have for that they had for X-Men Apocalypse, which I doubt they're going to recast. I think they're all, like, they're done.
Yes.
Like, everybody's done. Like, Patrick Stewart's done, Ian McKellen's done.
Famke Janssen's done, James Marsden's done. There's, you're never
Jennifer Lawrence fell asleep at the wheel and ain't waking up anytime soon.
You're never going to see Jennifer Lawrence in another one of these fucking movies again.
Nope.
Dude, as soon as she won that Academy Award, she's like, fuck the X-Men.
You could feel her disdain halfway into Days of Future Past, and you could really feel it in Apocalypse.
Which is so weird. Like, then why make her the main character? Why make her the main focus if she doesn't even give a shit? If she's not going to be in the fucking...
Because she draws people in.
Exactly.
Just put her in the movie. You don't need to, like, make her the team leader.
Well, it's for the same reason.
Look, Sal, we write these X-Men movies depending on who's hot at the moment, and she's been very hot for the last few years.
Yeah, never mind how confusing it will be.
It's the Wolverine principle, man. Like, oh god, guys, like we're not really sure if X-Men Apocalypse will succeed. Well, you know what'll get people into the theaters? What's that? Just have Wolverine pop his claws in the trailer, and they'll go see it.
Let's have a whole character development scene of these kids at the mall that actually would make the movie worthwhile, and let's put more Wolverine in there.
Yeah. Like it'll drive people in, and with Jennifer Lawrence, I mean, because you got to remember, she was coming right off the success of the Hunger Games.
Yep.
You know, so like she was a name on the tip of everybody's tongue.
Yeah.
And everybody knew who she was. Everybody knew what was going on, and because of that, it drew people in. But the issue is all the supporting characters that draw people in are leaving. So, I don't know what they're going to do with this franchise, and that's the problem. Is do we have to write
new characters now?
Well, if they love it, they should just let it go.
That's why I'm like, I think there might be a deal on the cusp right now where they're like, we're going to make as much money as we can from the Wolverine character that we know makes money, and then we're just going to sell the damn thing.
Right?
No, Fox is never going to give up the X-Men.
I bet you they will. I don't think
they will take the X-Men to their grave.
I don't think so.
They really only need 2 of them.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's the only 2 that anyone gives a crap about.
I mean, people care, but like movie-going audiences that don't give a shit about comic books are like, I want to see the Wolverine movies.
I gotta tell you, I would pay some significant money to at least see an alternate scene in the Logan movie where instead of Patrick Stewart as his road buddy, it was Deadpool for a little bit.
Oh my god.
That's like, you know they kicked that idea around. You just know they had to.
Yeah, they were like, can we make it be like, it was just like Ryan Reynolds in fucking gross makeup the entire movie, like just making douchey quips. That'd be amazing.
I would love to see the whole movie, but I would just take a scene.
Yep.
With the 2 of them in the car.
Yep.
Oh, you know what they could do? They could take the Uncanny X-Force approach, where they just find Deadpool in a box, and they're like, what are you doing in here? He's like, well, like they just sealed me in here because they got tired of me, and I've been in here for like 200 years or however long it is that he's been there, and it's just like he just annoys the shit out of him, and he's like, you know what, we're just leave him in the desert and just drive off.
Yeah. You could definitely be.
You could even leave Patrick Stewart there. I would love to see Patrick Stewart
interact with Deadpool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, that's exactly what I was thinking. I would love to see Professor X interact with Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like, how many of you guys in the chat would want to see that? Patrick Stewart's Professor X, like a scene between him and Deadpool.
Right.
I just looked into your mind. It's horrifying.
Right? With Hugh Jackman just driving the truck.
Yeah, just being like, oh my god, just shut up.
If you 2 don't shut up, I'm going to turn this car around.
It's like, I am going to snicked into my own brain. I can't even take this anymore.
I bet you, I bet there is a PS scene with Deadpool in it. Either like there's a nod or there is a scene in which Deadpool either appears or is referenced in some way. Because Deadpool is the character that Fox knows makes money.
You want to get people ready for Cable, have Cable show up and be like, too far, gotta go back.
These are all obvious things that they should have done at any point in any other... Remember fucking... Like, why didn't they do that? Well, anyway. I mean, like, the closest thing we've ever seen for a scene like that is in the Batman vs. Superman movie when Flash shows up.
Yeah.
And it was done wrong. Like, every other idea that they do.
I gotta say, now I just want someone, as a side project, as a comic writer, to, like, take Old Man Logan and just put Deadpool in it as a ride-along character.
Yes.
And just, like...
Give that to Cullen Bunn. He'll write that next week.
Right?
Dude,
I'm sure he is writing that.
Like a Deadpool Wolverine road trip story? Dude, that would be amazing.
I'm actually shocked there isn't an Old Man Deadpool book.
Right?
Oh, God.
Well, Deadpool can't get old. He can't grow old, I don't
think. But, like, it's just the idea that, like, it's the future, and he's old, he's tired.
He
did in the 2099 future, if you've been reading the Deadpool book currently, he grew a gross-ass hobo beard in the year 2099.
They could
did he really?
They could just write a Deadpool book that takes place in the original Old Man Logan continuity, like, while Old Man Logan was doing his thing.
Yeah, this is what Deadpool's up to.
Deadpool was having his own adventure, where he also found, like, fallen heroes and, like, made fun of them.
Yeah. That's a book.
Like, that's it.
Like how people are typing that in the chat, like...
Cullen Bunn will write that. He's written Deadpool versus everything else. I'm sure he'll write Deadpool versus Old Man Logan.
Yeah.
A lot of bishops in the chat right now.
Forge,
I didn't change a thing!
And Forge is always like,
well, that must mean the plague of the 20th century is still happening.
Dude, if I were Forge, I would just fuck with him.
Yeah, I'd be like, you did it wrong. Time to go back to the Old West.
You gotta go back there. We gotta keep sending you back, dude.
They're like, why do you do that? I just can't handle it. He's just so extreme.
He's so extreme. He's just like, Forge, I never changed my neckerchief. I'm from the future. I love how Wolverine has no patience for him in the cartoon. Oh no, it's him again.
Yeah, he's got the right idea.
He literally, I remember when he comes back and he's shooting at the crowd for no reason. He's just like, I'm from the future, bitches. And then Wolverine goes, I know how to solve this. I'll jump on him from a tall building and try to, and then vaguely threaten him with my claws, which I can't possibly use on another person because it's a child's cartoon show. They need to make a supercut of all the vague threats that Logan does in the X-Men, where he just goes, bring, and he's like, I'm gonna use these, and everyone's like, yeah, no, you won't, unless it's a robot.
Somebody needs to make a parody of that, where like they run into battle, and it's just like a random battle scene, and Wolverine's battle cry is like, Gene! And then, like,
there is a Gene,
like, future.
There is a Gene supercut of all the Genes.
It's wonderful.
Is it really?
Yeah, just Gene, Gene, Gene. It's just amazing because Scott yells Gene a lot.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
That guy had issues.
Yeah.
Okay, so
back to the future, Doc. I'm from the future, Doc. This is heavy.
For the future.
Anyway. Marty, you gotta go back to the future.
God, I gotta go back and rewatch these episodes.
There's no supercut of him yelling "future." By the way, I've looked it up.
I'm gonna make that tonight.
Please do.
Dude, I'm running on like 2 hours of sleep. I'm tired enough, and
just pull every episode the Bishop appears in from X-Men, and then make a future compilation. Anyway, what was the next topic?
The next, oh my God, Alfred, my bats are squeaking.
My bats are squeaking. My wings are flapping, Alfred. You gotta pick me up.
Oh man. So all right. So the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 teaser.
It looks great. That's all they need to do. Don't do a trailer. Just release the scene. Just release the teaser you did. It's amazing.
I would like to state for the record, I too am a dancer.
I saw the list of topics and then I got swamped.
Yeah, it's great.
I'll
auto-tune the future.
I'll just watch it now. You guys are continuing with this.
Future. Marty, you gotta go back to the future.
Dude, I am gonna I'm gonna auto-tune it and make a song out of it. I have no idea how to auto-tune.
We'll figure it out.
Oh man.
I'm from the future.
Little Groot in a coat, everybody. How great is that? Little Groot riding on amazing. Shoulder.
No, yeah. It's great. It just tells
Yondu
you
with a bigger fin.
That's all you need. That's all people are bitching about with Yondu.
Is it the trailer?
Yeah, just call it the trailer.
I'm actually excited to see some more Yondu. I liked him.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Yondu's awesome.
He stole the movie. He had a bigger body count than anybody.
Yeah, Space Redneck rocked.
Space Redneck. Yeah. It was pretty solid, man. He was great. Enjoyed him.
Oh, Michael, anytime you see, what's his name? Michael... Rooker. Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. It's amazing.
And lots of other good stuff there. I mean, it's like really what's not to love about this? To think Batista would become such a good actor later on.
I really wanted to give him a good shot, and I'm glad I did. But like, I remember leading up to Guardians, I didn't like do all this research, but I did read an interview in which Dave Bautista was like offered the role of Drax, and he's like, I didn't want to do that thing. I didn't want to be like Mr. Mom or like anything like that, where it's just like they hired a wrestler who's big and just made him a big guy. He's like, so I took like acting lessons and like trained to be an actor so that I could know what I'm doing. And I'm like, freaking thank you for taking this seriously. And it paid off because he's delightful.
He owns the role. He really. I couldn't imagine anyone else in the role.
He redefined Drax. He changed Drax irreparably. There's never gonna Drax will never be the becaped like jackass that he was during Starlin's run again. You'll never see that Drax again. You will only see Dave Bautista's version of Drax.
Now, here's my question, because I'm kind of curious what they're gonna do with it. Like, here's what I would really dig. All right, here's what I'd really like to see. I'd like to see Adam Warlock, and I would like to see the villain be what was Adam Warlock's alter ego?
The Magus?
The Magus. Where he shows up and they're like, who are you? He was like, I'm the Magus. I'm from the future.
No, he's not from the future.
Version of Adam Warlock.
I'm an evil Adam Warlock.
This movie's going to be jam-packed. We got Ego the Living Planet. We got the
Russell
champion of the
playing
universe.
Can we get Matthew McConaughey to play Adam Warlock, please?
Hey.
I would not be okay with that.
What? He looks just like him. He's got the blonde mullet. Trust me.
Yeah, but I don't see him pulling that off. I see that being bad.
The universe is a flat circle, guys. That's all you know.
Right?
You know what's so great about being Adam Warlock? I keep getting older. They stay the same age.
The universe can't stay the same age.
Man. But no, like it's they're bringing in her, which I think that's the Enclave's second iteration of Adam Warlock, which is the woman. I'm kind of thinking they're gonna like set the stage for what we're gonna see with Adam Warlock. Hopefully, I'm really hoping they bring him in. I hope they don't just like leave him out because I think he's so intrinsic to the Thanos mythos in comics. But I mean, regardless, like I'm extremely hyped because I think I was talking to people about this in a Periscope, and I said that I think what made the Guardians of the Galaxy so good was that it was different.
Oh yeah.
Like people like different. That's one of the reasons why Doctor Strange I think is going to be so successful because people like the down to earth things. But if you've seen Captain America, The Winter Soldier, if you've seen Civil War, if you've seen Captain America 1, if you've seen the Iron Man movies, you've seen the same thing over and over and over again. And I think that what people are looking for is something unique and something different. And that's what they got with Guardians of the Galaxy. It was out in space. They saw stuff they hadn't seen before. And I think that with Doctor Strange, they're going to see the same thing with some crazy, bending stuff.
It also, too, Guardians, I think, filled a need for a lot of young moviegoers that wasn't being filled at that point. Like, were it not for Force Awakens coming out not long afterwards, I would say Guardians was this younger generation Star Wars. And in many ways, I think it kind of is.
Yeah. I mean, it takes them into the cosmic odyssey of Marvel, which I think was a really important aspect to explore. But, I think that Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I have total faith in James Gunn. I mean, I've had faith in James Gunn ever since him and Zack Snyder. Well, him and Zack Snyder sat down and made the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Which is solid.
It's solid, yeah. And ever since then, I've had total faith. And I think they were the one. No, he did the screenplay.
He wrote it.
Yeah, he wrote it. And so I have total faith in him, based on that. And Guardians of the Galaxy was so good. I'm really excited to see him return. At this point, I mean, I can't really envision a scenario where it wouldn't be enjoyable. At this point, it's just a matter of will I see the characters that I want to see the most, in the movie.
Heck, there's people we haven't even seen yet. Like Mantis is going to be on the team and everything now.
That's awesome.
What a weird.
That's not weird.
Yeah. Mantis?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a question. Here's a question. It's at some point in the movie, is she going to die and then her consciousness is going to fracture into a million pieces across the cosmos? Aww. Is that what they're going to do with her? Like, are they going to take that Mantis approach and then, like, Silver Surfer, they're going to get the rights back to the Silver Surfer and he's going to start traveling to different locations and he's going to run into Mantis on Earth and then he's going to run into Mantis on some other planet and then he's going to run into Mantis somewhere else and then just see her everywhere?
They could just do the Abnett version of Mantis.
Yeah. Mantis can see into the future.
That'd be fun. I mean,
see, to me, that wouldn't be bad because, I think that right now they've kept their whole alien race thing really limited, in terms of what they bring us. So, like, we've got the Kree. I don't know if they have the Skrulls or anything, but they have the Nova Corps and maybe a couple other things. They showed us the Badoon, which is cool, but they never really referred to them.
We had the Chitauri, too, don't forget.
We had the Chitauri, yeah, but that's... I don't know. Okay, guys, there was a story in the 90s, I think it was, where Mantis was a character they were trying to make relevant. They were experimenting with giving Silver Surfer a girlfriend outside of Shallabal, and it turned out to not be that great. So they decided it was a good idea to bring Shallabal back and then kill off Mantis. But instead of just having her die, she was caught in an explosion, and her consciousness was literally scattered to the winds, and it fractured into like a million pieces. And Silver Surfer would just occasionally run into a version of Mantis as he was traveling around the cosmos. It was weird.
Running into your ex that often, that's got to be hard.
It sucks. but no, I mean, it's regardless, like it's going to be solid. I mean, Mantis I think is a great addition to Guardians of the Galaxy because I think it can really throw in some cool dynamics to the team because they really got to shake things up from the team that we saw in the beginning, in the first movie. They got to add a little bit to it, add a new dynamic to it, which I think is cool.
Can I give you guys a call back?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like, with them... Sorry, I'm being totally distracted by the phone conversation that's happening next to me. With adding Mantis, I mean, like, that she was at least a part of the run that I read of Guardians of the Galaxy, which I think was the Abnett run, and that did have Adam Warlock in it, and it had the female Quasar, and I love the female Quasar, so I'm like, that would be fun with me.
Yeah, what I wouldn't give to see Phyla-Vell show up. I think that'd be pretty
right?
sweet. You know, because the days of Wendell Vaughn, I think, are long since gone. I think it's really too late to throw him in there, and even then, it would just kind of seem forced. But Phi Lavelle had a lot more personality.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's a lot of older characters I'd love to see, and they're like Moondragon. I'd love to see the Moondragon and Phi Lavelle relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Like, those are things I'd love to see come together.
I'm totally on Team Moondragon. We need more bald women badasses.
We need more bald badasses with super telepathy. But
she could use a few more articles of clothing, though.
Well, you can work her in.
I'm sure they'll fix her up. Look at what Gamora wears in the comics versus the movies.
Yeah.
In the comics, you know, she was the daughter of Drax. You know, and it wasn't until quite a while after his introduction that bit of info was revealed. You know, and so I think that if they turn around, they throw her into the MCU. You know, they're just like, hey, your daughter didn't actually die. Instead, she was raised on Thanos' homeworld.
You could have Drax play like surrogate father to this girl. You don't have to hint at like an actual familial relationship. Just have Drax be like, I like this Moondragon. I will help her.
I mean, that works too. I mean, at this point, I'm just kind of swinging for the fences on ideas. But
I know,
right? There's a lot of characters I'd love to see. And do what?
I was gonna say, while we're swinging around there, we did see Cosmo. You know.
Yes, we did.
And
yes, we did.
God, Cosmo's great.
Right? Like, they could just... For me, this is... Like, everything I saw there, without, you know, in the first movie, didn't have Mantis, didn't have Quasar, didn't have Adam Warlock, but we did get the team I kind of knew without, like, those. But then we also got Cosmo, so this next one could just be the thing I read, and that would make me very happy because I read that, so... You know, you know how it is.
They're going in that direction.
I know, right? Except then, you know, Cosmo's going to be a jerk.
Plus dancing and hugs. This trailer had more hugs than any other trailer I've seen this year.
Right?
It did have a lot of hugs. It was the huggingest trailer that you've ever seen. But yeah, so okay. Oh my God, the hugs. All right, so moving over to DC again. James Wan says that Aquaman is going to have a swashbuckling tone. Now,
and Joel says, I'll believe it when I see it.
I don't know how I feel about this.
Perhaps he's talking about that short-lived cartoon, The Pirates of Darkwater.
Tim, high five. High five
yeah.
Pirates of Darkwater reference. Yes.
Well, see, here's what I do not want to see: a Pirates of the Caribbean starring Aquaman. Like, I don't want to see that. What I want to see is DC Rebirth Aquaman, who could probably go toe-to-toe with Superman. Like, that's the Aquaman that I want to see.
No.
Oh, probably not. But that's I want to see the badass Conan the Barbarian-esque personality Aquaman. That's what I want to see.
I'm sure.
Like, I don't want to see him finding buried treasure.
No,
you know,
just because it's swashbuckling like that doesn't mean that it's like necessarily buried treasure. It could just mean like most of the movie will take place on the high seas, whether it be under the water or above the water. Like, he could be dealing with, you know, either some sort of like pirate threat, like pirates that we know of today. You know, like
Somalian pirates.
Yeah, something like that. Or, you know, they could literally go for and they're killing whales and Aquaman's going to stop them. Or they could legitimately go with, like, you know, either a mythological or kind of supernatural threat that he has to deal with. And that could include some sort of ghost space ships or other
And Jeffrey Rush as Barbossa.
No, I didn't say that. We could go Scooby-Doo. No, I'm sure, like, if you're not going to do a Green Arrow movie, which, you know, for me, like, while it's not swashbuckling, like, to me, you know, that's kind of close to that Errol Flynn era, you know what I mean, like, of movies and action and all that, then this is where it would fit. Yeah, but, like, this is where this would fit, like, in a high seas type movie. If you're going to give him a ridiculous outfit and you're going to give him a giant trident, you got to give him the opportunity to use it.
Juan also said, too, he opened up a little bit about the relationship between Aquaman and Mira in this new film, who, by the way, Mira has a much better costume than Jason Momoa. Can we just say that right now?
It looks awesome!
He says they're going to have a love-hate relationship, because I'm like, oh yeah, God forbid we have a love relationship with the only two married people in this franchise, because, you know, that might make people happy, and we can't have that now.
There is no happiness in the DCU.
No. Everybody's sad and miserable. Actually, I would not be adverse to seeing, I would like to see, like, an Atlantean Civil War, like what we saw with Rebirth, where it was like Aquaman's literally struggling with, like, the people at the bottom of the chain, who consider themselves true Atlanteans, trying to like cast him out because they don't see him as king.
Yeah.
Like to me, that would make for a great story to introduce Aquaman. Like yeah, I mean he's Aquaman. The guy maybe talks to fish, maybe he doesn't. I don't know what they're gonna do with him, but it's like he's got his own problems to deal with, folks. Like Atlantis is not this perfect pasture.
No.
There's all kinds of issues.
I wonder if they will entirely change the relationship between he and Mara. Like if they're saying they're not going to be if it's a love-hate relationship, I wonder if it'll be one of those this is totally an arranged marriage kind of thing, and it was just to keep the peace,
That would actually be kind of cool, to be honest.
Oh, that hurts my heart. Oh, that hurts my purest heart so bad.
Oh no, like Aquaman fans would be pissed.
Yeah, they
took
would.
That road. And they were like, well, they're basically estranged, and she's only married to him because she has to be. That would piss off Aquaman fans at the extreme. That said, Aquaman fans would account for 0.000000001% of the people who would go see it.
That's true.
I don't think
very true. But they could use that as a device, and then he proves himself not only as a worthy king and leader, but also as a worthy husband, and then it all works out in the end.
Yeah.
It could just be that they're they could be trying in their own minds to strengthen her character to be no, she's a warrior as well, and she needs a guy who can satisfy her.
You see, Mira was actually sold to King Aquaman as a thing, and if less than 2 people die in an Atlantean wedding, it's a very dull affair.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, either way, it's. I mean, I'm glad to see Aquaman's getting a movie. I'm glad to see that it's not kind of just shoehorning him in. He doesn't appear I'm glad they're not doing a New 52 thing where he doesn't show up until the Justice League, and then he's just I'm Aquaman. I'm glad they're not doing that. They're giving me his own movie to really set the tone for what his character is going to be about. Which is cool.
We're going to see him in Justice League before he gets his own movie, though.
No. But I'm saying, he's actually going to get his own. He's going to have his own character explanation. He's not going to be just confined to the Justice League title.
Right, but that's going to be really bizarre because hopefully they won't feel like they have to over-explain things because they're going to be okay, well, we didn't get to explain anything about him to people who don't know who he is before this movie comes out, so now we kind of have to explain things here. But then that director who's doing the Aquaman movie might explain things a little bit differently, and then now we've trapped him into doing what we did in Justice League.
It seems potentially disastrous, doesn't it? It's if they don't love your character in Justice League, why should I go see his solo movie?
Right, exactly. So hopefully they're communicating, and as long as they're communicating and being this is what I want to do with Aquaman in my Aquaman movie, and this is the script that we're going with, please try to adhere to that, then it should be all right. And if they're not, then we will all obviously know that when we see it.
Well, hey, as we've learned from Suicide Squad, if it's bad, just wait 4 or 5 months because they'll come out with the actual version on DVD, and then we'll really get the.
This is not a redo. No, it's 4 minutes.
Oh, did you actually see it? You actually saw
No, but
I
got the confirmation from the inside, and it's maybe 4 minutes.
Of course.
There's no extended edition.
That's too bad. What's next, by the way? Unless you had something to Aquaman.
No. I mean, I didn't have anything else. Apparently, Steve Dillon passed away at 54 years old.
Yeah, that's
so sad.
That completely blows.
I do not remember who he is.
He drew Preacher. And
Punisher
Max.
Yes.
Well, Punisher. Not Max, but Punisher.
Marvel Knights Punisher.
Which would
a bunch of it. He was doing the current Punisher series, actually, which is super sad that he won't get to finish that now.
You should read Garth Ennis's farewell letter. It's amazing.
Is it?
Oh, it's beautiful. Super touching.
It has shades of Preacher in it. Doesn't talk about Preacher. It's just it feels like a monologue from Preacher. I'm yes. It's really sad.
He was only a couple of years older than my own father, actually, which hit me kind of hard because he was still pretty young. He was only 54.
Yeah, no, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've yet to say what he actually died of.
I was just about to ask.
No, I don't know. My guess is it was something persistent and terrible.
Yeah. That's rough. Yeah. He will be missed, but what a body of work the dude left behind. Yeah. He was always an artistic inspiration to me. I love the way the dude really captured human ugliness in his work. His people looked like real people.
Yeah, he was not afraid of that. A lot of artists are afraid of that because, beauty. There's beauty in symmetry, and he strayed away from that entirely. Yeah. He was just I'm gonna show you much of what that person's like on the inside by showing you what they look like on the outside, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
Which made him perfect for Punisher in that way.
Oh, yeah.
And Preacher, for that matter.
Yeah, but he was also able to capture like breathtaking scenery and moments of sadness and joy. And he was able to show you like scenes that that can be captured by camera and cinema. It's just he was a cinematic artist, and he will be sorely missed.
Yeah,
it's really rough.
2016 claims yet another one. God damn
thanks
it,
a lot, 2016 for fucking up everything.
Just stop, 2016. Just go home. You're drunk.
This has been one of the shittiest years ever.
Right?
Yeah.
It's been weird.
Bowie and Prince and everything.
So on a lighter tone, which I'm actually extremely excited about this, Donald Glover has been cast to play a young Lando Calrissian.
Yes. It's fine.
This I'm excited about. I am hyped because I love everything that Donald Glover's in.
Knocking it out of the park in your first one.
I gotta tell you, I like Donald Glover, and I'm sure he's gonna be just fine. I desperately wish they had gone with an unknown.
Yeah.
Really?
Because I want to watch Lando Calrissian. I don't want to watch Donald Glover pretend to be Lando Calrissian.
And that's exactly what he's going to do.
You know what I mean?
It's like Donald Glover is great, but he's not a chameleon.
Right. Like he's not like
Gary Oldman who will become anything or what's his name.
But again, I know he's going to be fine, but I just wish it had been an unknown so that when you went into it, you could be like, that's just a young Billy D. Williams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what you need. You need to find a young actor.
But now all the Donald Glover fans will come see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And I mean, even at the time, Billy D, it was hard to not see Billy D in the role as well.
He was a casting choice that was, we need a prominent African American actor.
Right. But as a child, I had no idea.
But context, we have nothing except his Colt 45 commercials.
I would really love to know, like, the work and research Donald Glover is putting into this part. Like, he's growing a pencil-thin mustache. He's drinking nothing but Colt 45 just to get into that Billy D. Williams headspace.
Wow, Joel, I like how you just throw out those black stereotypes, man.
He was the spokesman for Colt 45.
He was.
He's eating chicken wings, and collard greens.
I'd like to think that he's
that's delicious, by the way. If someone had some of that for me right now, I would eat it.
I would like to think that he is hopefully actually hanging out with Billy D. Williams. You know what I mean? To understand what Billy D. did for his role as Lando, to understand his mannerisms.
He's probably like, I didn't do jack shit.
That's fine, but
I put on a cape and showed up.
But he has to if he could just hang out with him,
just get the mannerisms.
Yeah, get the cadence, get the mannerisms, get the whole thing down.
Yeah, the best actor to play any young Harrison Ford character is River Phoenix, because the dude was in movies with him and captured his mannerisms in a really, really picture perfect way.
Yeah.
And it worked that way because River Phoenix played Harrison Ford's son in The Mosquito Coast, and they worked together and he literally learned all of his nuances so that he could kind of behave like him in the way that a son would automatically. And so as such, he was a perfect choice to play young Indiana Jones in Last Crusade, and it's why they actually even developed the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, because they were going to launch that show with River Phoenix, and then he died, so they had to get one of the Boondock Saints, and it was a really shitty show. But
I was going to say, the problem with casting River Phoenix is that he's dead.
Yeah, the problem is he's dead, and he's been dead for a good 20 years. I'm saying that
the
dude followed the logic of an actor who's like, I need to get the mannerisms. Donald Glover needs to do
method actor.
Yeah, the dude, Donald Glover really tries and cares and works hard.
Yeah.
So hopefully he will do his due diligence.
I have no doubt that he will do a fine job with it. I don't doubt that.
But I'm not doing backflips about yay, Donald Glover.
Right, but I feel that way about every role in the Star Wars universe. If you're playing a version of that, or you're just even in a Star Wars movie, I don't want to pretty much have seen you anywhere.
No, it's it'd be like if they were we got Julia Roberts to come in and play Mon Mothma in Rogue One.
No, that's not what I want. I want.
That's why they got nobody.
Yeah, I like that. I like that so much because I'm this is all I see. You're just your character right now.
Yeah. Also, because Donald Glover is already a huge icon in nerd culture thanks to Community, there's going to be incessant the Community jokes.
Oh, I bet.
And the bro rape jokes. And it's just going to be that immediately, probably within the next year, we're going to see Donald Glover host SNL, and there was going to be a sketch that's going to be a joke on his show Atlanta, but it's going to be Cloud City or something, and he'll play Lando in that one. Like, that writes itself.
Yeah.
You just wrote it right there, now. I can see it.
Yeah, and again,
it's charming.
It'll be fine. He's going to do a good job. Like, he absolutely will. My personal preference would be to just have found some unknown, very hungry actor.
Yes.
Because there are plenty of young actors who would have loved the chance to
play Lando Calrissian.
Yes, you know what I mean?
And done the job.
So...
I want to see his chemistry and interaction with the kid they got to play Han, who, like you said, Tiff, is a veritable unknown I've never heard before.
So, but that one you definitely have to have an unknown, because you can't just have some guy being like, and now I'm playing Harrison Ford. I'm
playing the coolest guy ever, deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. Look how well that worked out pretty much for Shia LaBeouf. Anyway,
Wow.
You know, if you say his name 3 times, he shows up.
Well, if he does, I'm going to punch him in the face.
Well, you know what I was going to say? Just do it. Don't let your punches be punches.
That's right.
Nice.
All right, so the final topic we have is Tim Miller, I think it was.
Yep.
That director exits the Deadpool sequel. Now,
what a heartbreaker.
He left over creative differences.
Supposedly.
And the rumor mill is turning out that it was creative differences over who should be cast to play Cable.
That was one of them. The other thing was that he wanted to make a more stylized sequel, while Ryan Reynolds wanted to double down on the raunchy humor.
Right. Yeah. Which I hope is not that. Part of me, in the humorous part of me, hopes desperately that it was over the casting of Cable, because I can just imagine the two of them with headshots yelling at each other over who's going to play Cable.
Yeah.
What a thing to ruin a friendship.
Right?
That would be hilarious, too, by the way. Send it all crashing down. Like, no, I want Liam Neeson. No, we don't want Liam Neeson.
Stephen Lang.
We want Stephen Lang.
No,
Stephen
there's
Lang
no way.
Cable, by the way.
No, just going back and forth, and then we could flash forward to the future, where they're old men and they're remembering each other, and the fact that Cable destroyed their friendship.
Yeah.
It can't be understated how much Tim Miller did for Deadpool as a movie. In fact, he probably leaked the test footage that he made that got it made in the first place. Yep.
Yeah.
And because he owned the After Effects studio, he did touch up on that movie for free after it was done, because he was so invested and in love with the project.
Right.
And now he's not here anymore for the sequel, and now it's all up in the goddamn air.
Yeah.
That said, his choice for Cable sucked.
What was it?
I don't remember, but it's
Kyle Chandler.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
He was too young, and it's like, what is this? Like, why do you even know who Cable is?
See, I wouldn't be surprised if it came down to an argument over Cable. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he was like, if the studio wanted Liam Neeson, maybe he wanted, Kyle Chandler, whatever the case may be.
The studio wanted Kyle Chandler.
And then like Stephen Lang released Don't Speak or whatever it is, the movie that just came out. I'm sure Fox, I don't know if it was produced by Fox or whoever, but they probably saw it, of course, before it was actually released in theaters, and was like, we need to get that guy. Like, we need Stephen Lang. Right. Now, the argument broke out over whether or not they'll have... I mean, I personally think Stephen Lang is a perfect choice. For Cable.
No question.
Like, he's an amazing choice for Cable that he should definitely... Because he's super serious, super hardcore, and their styles would be... They bounce off each other perfectly.
Yeah. He's got Cable's haircut already.
Yeah. He has Cable. He's got scars. I mean, he can do the scar thing from... Yeah.
I would also have accepted Clint Eastwood, though.
I thought you were going to say Dolph Lundgren.
No.
Clint Eastwood would be an amazing Cable.
It would just be so weird for Clint Eastwood to be like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
I don't need this. I'm an Academy Award-winning director. I don't need to play a silly comic book character.
I was the mayor of San Francisco for a bit.
Right. But then he would anyway.
Yeah.
Because he's great.
Yeah, because he's great. That's like...
but no.
That's an unfortunate thing to end a friendship, and also just to ruin, or potentially ruin this movie. Like, they're going to have to bring someone in. They're going to have all new ideas. You know what I mean? Like, which means Reynolds is going to have probably more pull, because they're going to want to get someone who works with him, you know? Like, that could be good or it could be bad.
Yeah, it could be the director
We
of
will
Van
forever
Wilder.
wonder what could have been now.
I mean, it's... As long as they're a yes man to the agenda, it should be fine.
Maybe they'll bring in the new director and things will kind of not be working out, and then he'll show back up and he'll just be like, "Hey Ryan, what's happening?" And
no, we're making this movie.
Yeah. I'm really sorry about that whole Cable thing.
Yeah, me too. It turns out Stephen Lang was a good idea.
Oh, that's adorable.
Right?
Or
and then they rejoin their friendship, and then they have a montage where they make the rest of Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
or transversely, now that he's out from under the Fox corral, wouldn't it be funny if Big Papa Marvel came along and said, "Hey there, Tim, we got this thing called Squirrel Girl. We haven't been able to crack it. We think you could crack this." Or better yet, here's what we got. Do any one of these.
They'll be like, "We got this Moon Knight thing. You want to try?"
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
I would watch the hell out of a Tim Miller Moon Knight movie.
Right?
Or just like a Tim Miller Netflix series like that for Moon Knight. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Right?
But, yeah.
Where Khonshu is just a tremendous sarcastic jerk.
Yep. Yeah, well,
I like
he is.
it.
I know, but like it would just be like, all right, I'm like writing Deadpool, but
for Khonshu.
Okay, I
right.
can do this.
Yeah.
With John H. Benjamin as the voice of Khonshu. Hey, jerk. What, you hearing voices in your head again, Mark? Yeah.
But yeah, guys. So I mean, I think that kind of wraps up the topics.
Yeah.
Guess that wraps up this episode. But so I guess a couple of final thoughts. What do you guys have going on for the rest of this week?
Ooh.
Great question. We have the Halloween special back issues coming out this week on Wednesday. It should be really fun. It's on a very, very ghoulish, spooktacular Marvel book. I'm sure you could all guess what it is if you used your critical thinking caps. And that's and also another episode of Tips Picks is coming out soon. Probably Friday.
Nice.
That's me.
Also, Elseworlds Exchange with Joel will be there doing that. That'll be
We don't know what we're doing yet, but we'll figure it out.
It'll probably be like superhero conveyance methods or headquarters.
Yeah.
Nice.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll flip a coin. We'll throw a dart. We'll figure it out.
Exactly. And I can't wait to see Rob's future supercut.
Future
Coming very soon.
If you don't do it, I'll make it.
Rob
I wanna
pulls
make
his
it.
editors off whatever projects they're working on. Goes, guys, you need to do this right now.
Yeah.
Pull all
I'll edit the
of your
videos. You make this happen. Futures end. Futures end. The future ends now.
What's happening with you guys?
Well, I have. I'm doing the JLA Avengers crossover
Nice.
tomorrow, and then I'm doing a story. What if story where Doctor Doom becomes Doctor Strange?
Oh.
And then
Written by Dan
think-
Slott.
Yeah, that book has
Yeah.
that book has a dark, weird ending, doesn't it?
dude, that book, man, that it's like every Dan Slott story where it starts out reasonable and then he just goes off the reservation.
No, see,
halfway
I
through.
don't. I give him props because don't forget, with a what if, you get the one book. You know what I mean?
There's
So
no
you-
time.
Yeah.
developing
You're
it.
trying to tell a beginning, middle, and end in that single book. So, like, whenever I read a what if, I always know, I'm like, you know what? This is gonna go crazy at some point because they're gonna be
Go
like,
big or go
uh-oh,
home.
I only have a couple of pages left. And the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, that ending to that book, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
What?
And then I have Age of Ultron versus Marvel Zombies coming
Nice.
up for Halloween.
Nice.
That's a
And then
cool
I'm doing the Long Halloween for DC. So
Very nice.
It's a
It's
great
book.
book. Great
It's
series.
beautiful. That's like
Yeah.
that's Sale at like his best.
Yep. Easily.
yeah, I've heard that was really like one of the best pieces of work that he did.
Yep.
Yes.
I always
no.
thought Tim Sale did. I always thought it was pretty good. We did the what is it, Captain America
White.
Yeah.
Captain America White. That's
He
what it
did.
was.
Yeah. It was like that's fine, but like Long Halloween is just like, oh my
Whole other
god, it's
level.
a whole nother level for him. And like,
Agreed.
it's unfortunate that came so early in his career.
Yeah.
Because it's just for me, it's never been as good.
I think Spider-Man Blue is a little better looking than Long Halloween.
I like the noir look for Long Halloween, but I like a noir look, so for me that weighs out. But they're both very good.
I think his pencils
Yeah.
are a little sharper. I think he learned a lot.
Okay, that's fair.
Dude, I tried to read Arkham: A Serious House on Serious
Oh my
Earth. Dude,
God.
that book is batshit crazy.
It's a mind fuck, as it
Grant
should
Morrison.
Dude, I swear to God, man. Like, Grant, man, something happened. Let me tell you something, man. Somebody does not make a story like that and consider themselves a normal, rational human being. Like,
be. It's
like
what I
that
see
guy-
when I close my eye.
Dude, that's just fucked up.
I've
man.
stopped
It is
closing my
completely insane.
eye.
I
It feels like an H.P. Lovecraft story.
It is.
It's
We
all screwed up.
deliberately did it on back issues. I'm like, guys, look at this. They're like, what
well, that's
is
where
this?
Arkham comes from like H.P. Lovecraft and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
Nuts. I'm glad you're doing it. I can't wait to see your take.
yeah. I'm looking forward to the Long Halloween.
Yeah. Joel, what's happening with you, man?
Well, if you head on over to the Cape Joel channel, tomorrow we got the brand new Comic Multiverse coming up with me and Matt if you want more podcasty goodness. We go on a big rant on moon people on this one, colonizing the moon. They think they're better than us. What's up with that?
Can't wait to hear that.
I'd be good, too, if I was on the moon. But I'm not. Also, new review coming up later tonight. I'm reviewing Deadpool number 20. Kind of fitting, as we were talking about Deadpool. The first couple pages of this one are hilarious because they do a riff on like the most famous thing from All-Star Superman of when Superman stops that girl from jumping. Only now it's Deadpool that stops the girl from jumping, and then he won't leave the girl alone. And he's like, well, hey, why are you feeling so bad? I'm Deadpool. Maybe I'll help you out. Let's go around. Let's hang out for a bit. I'll help you with your problems, as only Deadpool can. I'm like, that's a nice touch, because Superman saved that girl. And he's like, later. Yeah. Gotta be Superman. But Deadpool's like, I have nothing else going on right now.
Superman was dying in that scene.
He was. He was preoccupied.
Yeah, he had to save the world. The sun was going to go out anyway. It was a good book. But yeah, that's a great idea.
All right.
Good story.
All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to wrap this episode up. Thanks for coming out, everybody.
Yes.
Of course, be back here on Thursday for this week's episode of The Pool. That will be you guys and Caitlin and Benny, I think. So yep. I don't think I'm going to be on that episode. But yeah. So I guess thanks for coming out, everybody. And we will catch you all later.
That's right.
Wait.
Peace.
Alan Scott.
Alan Scott.
Right at the
Scott
end.
from the
right
future.